part is a reading by the pastor. Some of the thoughts that came to me this past week were a little bit about frustrations of daily lives, and that led me into thinking about personal responsibility, which is the cornerstone of the faith that I embrace, which is spiritualism. Something about personal responsibility is it basically states that you are responsible for everything you do, every time you do it, regardless of who made you do it or why you did it. The other side of that coin that came to me in my meditation is so is everybody else. So you have to remember that two-sided coin. If you hold yourself responsible, then you should hold everybody else responsible and let them be responsible for their decisions. This allows us to truly embrace the entire concept rather than, at times, if you don't embrace both sides of that concept, sometimes it gets to be a little bit of a penitent type thing, where I have to do this, and you just get to be feeling a little bit beat by that principle without embracing both sides of it. As I think more about this principle in the past week, there's been quite a bit of that in my life. There's been my responsibility towards others and their responsibility back for how they've been acting. As I allow them to bear responsibility for their actions, that frees me up to be joyous about my own life at times, because I don't feel obligated to be involved in their decisions. This has a lot to do with family most of the time, but sometimes work-related incidences have that too. I've been trying to retire for a couple of years now. I'm bound and determined to do it by this time next year. And my boss says, well, I don't know if I have a replacement train for you. And I said, that is not going to determine whether I retire or not. So there's both sides of it. My decision to retire, my responsibility for that, and his responsibility for what to do when I retire. So just a little play back and forth on that. I think that spiritual principles should be looked at in that leading you to lead a more joyous and happy life. It should not be something that's confining, that detracts from your type of life. It should explain things that are not explained by our normal processes of our minds. God's guidance is toward a happy and joyous life. And if we have that as the primary premise of why we embrace spiritual teachings, it keeps us on a better track, because our mind wants to keep dragging us back to the instincts, to the conscious decisions that we make about the immediacies of here and now. God's plan is for us eternally. It's for the eternal us. And I was thinking back in my 30s and 40s, what is different between my mind now and then? And after my spiritual awakening, I began to embrace more and more that concept of the eternal me, rather than the immediate me here and now. When I began to put things into that perspective, I didn't get an answer for all of it, but I felt less frustrated, less needing to have an answer, and more trusting to my faith in the eternal being that I am, and the eternal love of God. Thank you. Something I forgot to mention is that you can tell I'm dressed a little different than I normally am, a little more colorful. I decided to spice it up a little bit today. These beads here were given as a gift to me by a very good friend of mine who's in the service today. I didn't know he was going to be here, but I carry it with me all the time to remind myself of friendships and the gift of those friendships. Tim Williams took these to India. He was in India, and he went to this very well-known religious leader and stayed with him for a while, and he had these blessed specially by him and brought them back and gave them to his friends and people. So I looked very kindly upon this as a gift of friendship. Like I said, I didn't know he was going to be here today. He pops in when he wants to, but I had him with me because I'm reminded of that. Matter of fact, most of what I'm wearing today was given to me. The shirt was given to me. The pants were given to me. I bought my own boots and underwear. But it's just a gift of friendship, a gift of life. We can always put our minds on difficult things. There's a lot of beauty to put it on too. The next portion of the service is the healing portion. Ashton will be doing the meditation. Myself and Marty will be doing the spiritual healing on the chairs on the side. During the meditation, you'll hear this, which means that a chair has become vacant for the healing. So you can come over there and have a seat on the chairs and still enjoy the meditation. So,
find a comfortable position to sit. Feet straight on the ground. Palms up in your laps. Take in few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Take in another deep breath. Inhale, and with your exhale, release and let go. If there is any tension in your physical body, any thought that is disturbing you, just let it go with your exhale. Ask your mind to be quiet and just focus on your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Just focus on your breath. Don't let your thoughts interfere with you. Just bring your focus and your awareness to your breath. While you are breathing, slowly turn within. Start going deeper within. With each breath, feel yourself going deeper and deeper within. Find that quiet place within that feels very calm, quiet, and soothing. Connect to that peaceful presence within. And repeat to yourself quietly, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. Breathe in and breathe out. Just repeat to yourself, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. Until you feel a peaceful sensation has filled your entire body, your mind, your consciousness. Feel the peacefulness of your soul that is still within. And be at peace within and with your surroundings. Slowly shift your awareness higher to your forehead and roll your eyes up above your head. Become aware of a golden presence. This is your higher self, your I am presence. Connect to this presence. And become one. Feel the golden light and the vibration from your I am presence, connecting to the universal consciousness, to the universal intelligence, to the universal power, and sustain. Breathe in and breathe out, and be in this heightened state of awareness. Let us invoke the I am presence. As I decree, feel as if your own I am decreeing. I am. I am. I am infinite source of light. I am pure. I am perfect. I am. I am one with the universal creative force. I am creating my realities, my thoughts. I am manifesting and materializing my intentions for the highest good of all. I am. I am. I am divine light. I am divine love. I love who I am, and I am capable of loving everyone unconditionally, with compassion. I am pure love. I am empowered by the holy design. I am guided by the true divine. I am. I am. I am the beginning. I am the ending. I am Alpha. I am Omega. I am content who I am. For I am all that I am. I am home. I am complete. I am all that I am. Now feel the light and the vibrations of your I am presence coming down, penetrating through your crown chakra. Coming in to your physical body, shooting all the way down and out through the bottom of your feet. See this golden light anchoring you to the earth. Become one within with the entire universe. Now allow these vibrations from your existence to project out of your physical body. See yourself as a brilliant golden sun that is vibrating with high frequencies of light. Penetrating the vibrations of love. Sustain this state and let it become part of your reality. Sustain and embrace your divinity. Wherever you are, whatever you do, let your light shine and your love reach the hearts of humanity everywhere around the world. Let light and love prevail on earth. Let light and love embrace the earth and humanity. Send your high intentions for peace, love, and harmony. Envision a peaceful earth. Envision the entire globe that is breathing peacefully with you. Let there be love on earth, let it begin with us. Let there be light on earth, let it begin with us. Let there be peace on earth, let it begin with us. And so it is. Start slowly coming back to your physical body and integrate all these feelings to your physical body and express it with your actions and interactions with others. Thank you.
Today with an inspirational reading. We seek God's presence, and they who seek shall find. It is not a question of searching so much as an inner consciousness of the divine spirit in your heart. To realize God's presence, you must surrender to His will in the small as well as the big things of life. This makes God's guidance possible. Some things separate you from God. A false word, a fear-inspired failure, a harsh criticism, a stubborn resentment. These are the things that put distance between your mind and God. A word of love, a selfless reconciliation, a kind act of helpfulness, these bring God closer. Amen.
Amen corner and a yeehaw section today. Got a new speaker. Boy, it just doesn't get any better.
Return visit from Germany.
Yeah. We were playing out of town. I think she won.
The next portion of the service is the Inspirational Lecture, and we have someone giving it for the first time here, so put your love and hope towards him. Joey Sagar has been a student that I've known for some time. He is now an accomplished medium and healer, which always gives me pleasure to see that. People moving along. The greatest hope as a teacher is that the student succeeds beyond what the teacher's been able to do, and this is the case with Joey. He's really come into his own, and he's going to share that with us today. Please welcome Joey Sagar. I think my mic is on.
Sound for us.
Yeah.
Well, it's still good morning, so good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's a great pleasure and honor to be here in the People's Church of Divine Prophecy, and I'm thankful to Reverend Steve Atkins for giving me this opportunity. My topic today is, surprisingly, none of us had any interaction, but sort of is just like building up a theme. Last week has been really important for me, just going back, thinking about things through the scope of memory. And this past week has been really great because August 14 was Pakistan's Independence Day, and August 15 was India's Independence Day. They were separated just a day apart. So going back in time, just reflecting a lot of things, was a wonderful feeling how it was connecting and coming to me now that my awareness has shifted from many years being in India, living there, getting educated and everything, and being here. So the sense that I was deriving was freedom, because they were freed from the rule of the Britishers, and here I am in a free country, which is like defining freedom in its own way. So my topic today would revolve around freedom, and it is not per se to give a lecture or talk or sharing. It's just from sharing from my point of inspiration and be able to inspire you. The Webster's Dictionary defines it as the quality or state of being free as the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action, as liberation from slavery or restraint, or from the power of another, as the quality or state of being exempt or released, usually from something onerous. So just by the definition and giving a little background to me, being born in India and growing up in a mixed, diverse cultural community, everybody from different walk of faith, lifestyle, point of view. So it was a great opportunity to have a diverse environment. Fortunately, my parents never controlled my flow or my draw towards religious interest. They always told me, be respectful to any other religion as you would want them to be respectful to yours. Just go and explore. If somebody tells you don't do this, then don't do it. And that gave me an opportunity to mingle with my friends and being in their religious sacred spaces and to follow their lifestyle and just experience. And that gave me a greater understanding. Basically, it is just our perception, but there is something yet greater in our life that we need to reach out to, or everybody is trying to reach up a little bit higher and a little bit stretching themselves a little bit more to reach to that oneness of God. And in my discovery of religious pathways through years, in 2003, I was standing on Cassadaga Spiritualist camp. I was on the ground there. It was a great feeling just being in that moment of, there was something different about it. And it was like great source of openness. There was like a big door that just opened towards me, and I was right there. So I started going there. I started getting involved in the prophecy, their philosophies, their precepts, their principles, their way of life. And it just became a natural thing for me. I was not forcing myself to do anything. It was a very free movement in that aspect. Took many classes, many lectures, and one of my first few classes, I remember, Reverend Steve Atkins really inspired me that mediumship is real and it happens and anybody can do it, because there were people in the class from all walks of life. We study natural law a great deal while we are in the program, or it's just a part of life. You really don't have to be a student of spiritualism or anything to study natural law. So when I was thinking about freedom, just like Reverend Atkins was doing his reading for the day, when we look at freedom, it does have a flip side to it. There is constraint, there are limitations, there are situations that keeps us tied down and restrict our forward movement for the best. So it is just in those greater, deeper moments of our life where we recognize what's holding us back. That's only when we can take the next step forward. So it's a great deal of understanding that comes with the word freedom, as simple as it sounds. So when I was preparing my lecture, I asked a few people, what does freedom mean to you? The first answer was, we are free, we are United States. So the freedom initially just relates to being a free country or having no constraint over us. But freedom to me means a lot more than that. We have freedom of relationship, freedom of speech, freedom over our finances, freedom over our friends who we want to be friends with, or vice versa. So it's a two-way road, and freedom is just not going in one direction. Freedom is more like to be responsible for ourselves. And as each individual unit, we just add up and become a big mass of freedom. Spiritualism, as I grew in Cassadaga and in my understanding, my awakening and awareness, spiritualism brings to the forefront the idea of oneness. Because as we read through the principles and we put them in practice in our daily lives, it just creates a perpetual motion that whatever's going on, if you stay in the here and now and present, there's great opportunities for success. As we live our lives in the here and now, we can be one in our practices. We believe that our soul has a progression not only in the living, but in the afterlife. And as a spiritualist principles, the doorway of reformation is never closed. So wherever the point you exit into your afterlife, you still have the opportunity to keep growing and learning. And that's a wonderful phenomenon in life. It allows us the flexibility and diversity to know that everybody that's around us, no matter what their faith is, what their religion is, when they walk into our lives, they have the right to be free in their own perception and their own choices. So spiritualism also gave me a little flexibility and just gave me this idea of knowing that I should welcome everybody no matter what place they are in, and they are entitled to that of their beliefs. We all have the ability to see and visualize, be it our life, be it any situation of our life. So we are like a master artist, and our life is like a big canvas where we can do whatever we want, put whatever colors we want on that. We can create any life situations for ourselves because we have been blessed to have choices. And our choices is what in the long run dictates our freedom, or at least our sense of freedom. We also have the freedom to inspire not only ourselves through our actions and our lifestyles and the way of thinking that we develop as we grow and mature. We also have the choice to allow that freedom to pass it on to our younger generation or anybody that comes in our path, just by being an example. Living by an example is a great freedom that we have. We choose who we are, we live the way we are supposed to, and we just pass it on through our actions. Freedom, also in my thought, is a big perception of great one experience. Because if we feel truly liberated in our minds, in our philosophies, and our practices, that greatness is one unitary feeling, and everybody can have the same taste of that oneness. That where we are in that aspect, we are one. Carl Jung writes, "No one can flatter himself that he is immune to the spirit of his own epoch, or even that he possesses a full understanding of it. Irrespective of our conscious convictions, each one of us, without exception, being a particle of the general mass, is somewhere attached to, colored by, or even undermined by the spirit which goes through the mass. Freedom stretches us only as far as the limit of our consciousness." So freedom is unique to us just like we are unique individually. My aspect or my definition of freedom is probably a little bit different than yours, but that does not mean that I'm right or wrong or you're right or wrong. It is what it is, and we are who we are. Each individual sees that freedom from their perspective, and that perspective dictates their own personal backgrounds, their family background, the environment they were raised in, because our environments definitely have influence over our thought processes. And often it takes a great life-turning event to recognize if it's real or not. Otherwise, that's your reality and you're with it. And we progress from there. Freedom applies to us in many different viewpoints. We see, like I said, freedom in speech. That's the biggest thing. Everybody, when they set off with an argument, that's the first thing that comes. I'm entitled to my freedom of speech, but speech is like a ripple effect, you throw a little piece of stone in a pool of water and it goes out and then it comes back. Everything that we do, and no matter what situation we are, that freedom is that little piece of stone. The way it impacts one wave to the other, it returns in a similar fashion. So freedom has a great, immense greatness in my point of view. The encouragement here today is to each and every one, of us to recognize things that are holding us back. If we are really reaching for that free spirit of ours, or free approach to life, or being free from any situation that's holding us back, the encouragement is to recognize that and defining it in your own personal definition of freedom, what it means to you, how it relates to you, and what you can do with it. In conclusion, I would like to leave you with the word of Dwight Eisenhower. Freedom has its life in the hearts, in the action, the spirit of men, and so it must be daily earned and refreshed. Else it's like a flower off its stem, it will wither and die. Thank you for listening.